today's video, we've got an unboxing and we've got something in from Neo Optics. Let's check this out. All right, before we get into the box, let's talk a little bit about what I know about Neo Optics. So a couple weeks ago, they reached out to me via email. They said, hey, we are a brand new optics company. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we want to send out an optic for you to review on the channel. And now we have that optic. Now that we got that out of the way, when I received this optic, it was in a brown box, had the sticker on the side, and the owner's manual was actually sitting on top of our plastic case. We'll get into this in a second. Now you're going to have to bear with me on this because what is in this box, and it is a very nice box and a nice presentation when you open it up. We've got a HH1-N battery. Let me make sure I said that correct, and I did. We have a washer, which I'm not really sure what this is for. We'll figure that out in a second, and a lens cleaning cloth. And then we have our optic. And that is everything in our box. It's even got the little spots here to put a little lock on it. Pretty cool. Now, let's get back into our owner's manual. So this is the Neo Optics HH1, and this is a holographic sight, like an EOTech. And I have very little experience with EOTech. I've used them before at range days and friends of mine that have them on their guns, but I've never done a review or anything like that on a holographic sight on the channel. Now this owner's manual is very nice. It's we'll get into that here in a second, but quite a few pages here. Tells you how to install the battery, how to mount it on the rail, how to zero it, you name it. All of that is in this manual, and like I said, it's pretty nice. And we also got a Neo Optics sticker, and we got a piece of paper here basically saying thank you for choosing the Neo Optics HH1. All right, let's start getting into some specs on our Neo Optics HH1 holographic sight. I'm going to kind of walk you around here. You can see what it looks like. Got a very big window on it. There is the front. Got your buttons here on the side. Got your windage and elevation and where to mount it. And this comes off to put your battery. Now this is constructed out of 6061 aircraft grade aluminum. It is IP67 waterproof. And this thing weighs in at 7.5 ounces. It's not the lightest optic in the world. All right, first thing we're going to do is get this on. So we're going to grab our CR123A battery. We are going to unthread this. Going to put this side in first. Put this back on. Okay, we are on. Or I guess we could have just looked at the back of the optic. It tells you which way to put the battery in. All right, so we got our optic on. So let's talk a little bit about that battery. So like I said, it is a CR123A battery. Being that this is a holographic sight, it is not going to have the battery life as, say, an enclosed emitter red dot. So your battery life on this is 750 hours. Pretty much the same as EOTech. Now, as far as I know, this does not have shake awake. I'm going to test that out here in a little bit. But it will shut itself off after a half hour of not being used. And before you say, well, why doesn't it have shake awake? The majority of most holographic sights out there do not have shake awake because shake awake is very sensitive and it doesn't take much to turn one of these on And with only a 750-hour battery life, you are going to be eating through the batteries very quickly. All right, I want to go over some more specs here before we get into the fun stuff. And what I want to let you guys know is this is a sealed unit. It does have glass in the back and in the front. It is fog resistant. And the glass inside of this is 3/16 inch thick. So it's got some pretty thick glass. And if we look here on the bottom, you can see how this mounts up. Loosen this up. That pushes over. Slide that onto the rail and tighten it down. Now, one thing I'm not really too big of a fan of right off the bat, I wish this had some recoil lugs in here. Basically, all we have is this as a recoil lug, so I really wished they would have put some lugs in there. So that is one con with it right out the gate. All right, now that we got all the boring specs out of the way, we're going to get this turned on. So I want to show you here on this side, you got your up and down for your brightness settings, okay? And we're going to hit that, and I doubt you're going to be able to see the optic. Like I said, this is holographic and not a red dot. We'll just have to see how it looks on camera. If not, I will bring the reticle up on the screen. But this has a 65 MOA ring with a 1 MOA dot. And one thing that I can tell you right now, and like I said, I am not experienced at all with holographic sights, but this is all the way up, and this is probably one of the brightest reticles I have ever seen. In fact, it's stupid bright. It's too bright. So I'm going to turn this thing down about halfway, and I'll see if I can show you that on the screen. But super, super bright. Definitely not going to have an issue seeing this. Now, one of the reasons this is so bright is because it doesn't run on your typical emitter system like a red dot or a green dot. This actually runs on a class 1 laser. That is one of the other reasons why battery life on a holographic sight is not as good as a red dot or a green dot. Now, I just had lunch with Devin from Spectre Solutions, and he has a lot more experience with holographic sights than I do. And I was asking him about the reticle itself, because when I'm looking at it, it is kind of fuzzy. Now, everybody knows I have really bad astigmatism, and it causes me a lot of issues with red dots and green dots, but this is like different. It's kind of fuzzy. And I also got on some forums, and they even say the EOTechs to a lot of people kind of have a fuzzy look. Now, I'm not having any issue seeing that circle or that dot, but it's just a little bit fuzzy. Now, the last thing we'll cover with this reticle, being that it is a holographic sight, the reticle kind of floats. So basically it stays on that first focal plane all the time, which is supposed to really, really help with fast target acquisition. So I do know when I'm looking at it, it kind of has this float effect that they call it. And it's pretty cool, to be honest with you. Now, before I go get this mounted on the gun, we're going to put it on. I want to talk a little bit about the windage and elevation. So your up and down is right here. They are 0.5 or half MOA per click. Ooh, they're very tactile. Yeah, I like that. Little audible, not much, but you can definitely feel that positive stop in between each click. And your windage is right here. And the same thing with the windage. Pretty nice. And one other thing, these are night vision compatible. Probably will let Devin test that out at some point and see what he thinks about it, since he's the night vision guy. But as far as the Neo Optics HH1 goes, this is made for night vision. right, there it is. I've got it mounted on the Anderson Frontline 16 upper, and looks pretty good on there. Now, the reason I put this a little bit forward, I think I'm going to try it out with a magnifier also, just to see what I think about using it with a magnifier. I have the Monstrum Tactical Ghost 5 power magnifier, I believe it is, and I have not reviewed it yet. So other than that, I like how it looks. A couple things about the looks of it I could do without. Like, I'm definitely taking the laser sticker off, and I could do without the back and the arrow pointing to the back of the optic. But it is what it is. Other than that, it's a pretty good looking optic. Now, stay tuned, because we are going to do a full range review video on this in the next video. And I will also let you know in that video if this thing did shut off and all I had to do was hit the button to turn it back on. But I need to get a hold of the company, get a little more info on this for the review video. But basically, I wanted to give you guys an unboxing. And I'll go over the price and all that in the review video when we get an actual finalized price. I know what the MSRP on it is right now, but I kind of want to see what the street price is going to be and who all is going to be selling this optic. Because like I said, we are right in on the ground floor with these guys. Brand new optic, brand new company, and I'm pretty excited to work with them. Hopefully this turns out to be a good, rugged, reliable optic, and so far, I think they got something good going here. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.